Hello and welcome back. We've got the Princess Victoria still on the way out there with the red and cream coaches, and the Class 47 just stopping at the signal there. So she's going to go through points 8 and collect the parcel train eventually. It's got to stop at the next signal there. I know the signals don't represent any real railway practices, but they are quite good fun, and they do help me see the direction of the points from standing at the controller to a certain degree. I think we have those. So this Class 47's been on the layout for a while. It's the earlier mid-70s version with the early style Ringfield motor in it. So we'll just get those through there and switch those points shut behind it, making a lovely sound on the railway. And I love those parcels vans. I've always thought they're quite pretty things. So there's a number of things happening throughout the video. It's all bits and pieces again. I'm going to put away the wagons and stuff that we had on the railway, the mineral wagons, for the last few weeks. So I've almost got those away last week, and I ended up getting them out around the railway again. 47's really charging around there. It's definitely great fun. And the Y point that I got quite a while ago from Dave, I eventually got around to putting in this week, although it did take me longer to do than I had anticipated. So we'll have a look at that as well. And I've had a package of items arrive from Dave. So I bought a few new toys. So we'll have a quick look over those items a bit later on. There you can see I've got those mineral wagons all boxed up there. I'll get those put away very shortly. Great looking at the Victoria like that. Lovely connection rods. And now we'll just get the wagons and the locomotive put back away. Got some unboxed wagons there. I've got the polythene bags around the ones that got sort of broken boxes. That sort of keeps the boxes in a bit tidier condition, stops any further damage, I think. So pop all these back in the box for later use on another day perhaps. Catalogue away, and then those are buffers that were in the engine shed. We'll get those put away, and then we're back to the Princess Victoria. Again, a lovely sound on this model. And we'll just ease her around the layout, and we'll get her put into the sidings, I think, through the Y point. At this stage, when I'd shot this bit of video, I hadn't really realised I was going to change over the Y point. Couple of diesels sitting in the yard there. Terrific light again this morning when I'm filming this. Look at the shadow of the models as they come around the corner there. Nice gentle stop there while we switch the points. I'll just see if I can stretch over. It's just out of reach, that. It's uncomfortable reaching across to the controller and holding the gimbal with the camera on at that stage. And then through the Y point there. And right the way to the end. Just have a look back along those coaches. They are quite vibrant in the sunlight. And now we'll uncouple the B12, I think. The uncoupler's very bright in the sunshine as well, isn't it? We've got the chuff chuff sound in the tender here. So we're going to run round and pick up a set of the Western coaches, the Great Western coaches, sitting in the long sidings. I know that probably would maybe never have happened, this type of locomotive collecting those coaches, but this is a train set in the end. So the sunlight streaming through the window there. Again, that colour light signal there switching. Change the direction, roll it backwards. Now this has turned out to be one of my favourite models. I just love the paint finish on it. I'd forgotten the point there. I suddenly remembered I hadn't closed it. And then we'll switch the Y point too, and a couple more in the sidings there. Relatively smooth over that set point work. I think we have those. And off she goes, a slight squeak there from something. It could be the rear wheel on the tender with the chuff chuff sound. Sometimes it just catches and you hear the sound of the wheel dragging stationary along the track, making a sort of skidding noise. Perhaps a tiny bit more weight in the tender would help. And we'll just have a quite nice shots of this one running around the layout in a moment. Switch up the point behind them so we don't have any more accidents. And these coaches all have the silver seal wheels. They run very, very smoothly. They make a lovely click as they run across the point work. And we'll just see if we can follow her from slightly behind. As she comes around the corner, there's quite a nice shot I was quite pleased with as we come out past the other side of the station along this far side. Here's the other 47 sitting in the station. Quite nice seeing all the models either side of the locomotive there. Oh, I thought that was quite a lovely shot there, following along from behind and above, and then into the sunlight again. And off she goes down the long straight. We must do some more timings along this straight, I think would be good fun. Here's the box of items I mentioned that I received from Dave this week. So we're, I think, 20th of July today. So we'll have a glance over those in a moment. It's not an unwrapping. I've already unwrapped everything. They're just standing in the box they came in. If you see the insert picture there again, you can see they're really nicely wrapped. But this item here, this Y point, I received from a package from Dave quite some time ago now, and I've been always going to swap this Y point over. I know a number of people have been worried that I had 2-point motors on here, but this is a very sticky throw on this one. The point blades or the spring or the mechanism is quite crunchy, so I'm going to get that out in the next hour or so. But we're not going to follow that frame by frame on the video. But what we'll do is we'll get the Princess out here, and we'll put her somewhere safe, and then we'll use the Flying Scotsman to get the LNER coaches out, which I've been promising to get out. The one I've fiddled with an LED glowing firebox. So let's see which way round we are. Let's take the Flying Scotsman off the rails for a moment, and we'll get the Victoria out onto a safe line. So we just need to open up number 3Y at the moment. Excuse me, wandering around the room. So we'll go 3Y, and then we want to go that direction, I think. So we should roll backwards now. I love the sound of this model, really terrific. So we'll back that up there, and I think we'll put her into the station approach. So if we come back around and have a glance at the diagram there, so she's sitting there at the moment. I'll take her through 2Y and just set her safely on the station approach for now, I think. So that's that one, and then we'll swap the direction. And if all's well, we should get her through that crossover there next to the signal box. little bit jumpy on that point. The wheels are still relatively crude on this Princess. There we have it. So we'll just seal those points again. Let's do that. So then we can get the Flying Scotsman on the rails and just pull out those LNER coaches there. So let's have a glance at it. We've seen it before a number of times. This is the one that I have had the smoke, the exhaust steam sound in the tender of this one. I've been swapping them around in the past. Well, it's because I've been swapping models. I've took out the metal clip which goes on here, which the scraper that goes doing the wrong axle there on that end there. So I haven't yet found a solution for that, or found the missing clip. I don't know which model it went on to. So we'll put one of those in when I've solved that problem. But this has got a fair bit of damage on it, and I've stuck on some stripes onto the cylinder blocks there. She's missing bits there. She's got a very dodgy nameplate. I must get around to finding a proper reproduction for that. I keep seeing them on the internet and not buying them. I don't know why. So yeah, it's got the plated wheels. I've seen plenty of action. I've added extra weight into the rear bogie or truck because it tends to jump, this one. So I've put in a new piece of cellophane on the inside of the body there to make that a little bit more orange, because the LED, when it glows, tends to glow a little bit bright. I think almost too bright. So we've got some added orange in there. So let's pop that on the rails and we'll have a look. So seen plenty of action, this model. Let's get that on there. I think we're all good on there. And if I just turn the camera around, and then let's see if we can have a look inside that cab there. We'll roll away from us. And you see it doesn't instantly go out, so it glows for a little bit. And now it just gradually fades. We'll just run that away again. And we'll run back again. So let's just flip that camera around again. So if I just whip her off the track, we'll just open up and have a quick look at my schoolboy electronics on the inside. It's quite basic. So there is a capacitor in there, although the value of which I really can't remember, so I'll leave that in the description box. And there's a bridge rectifier in there. I know I can take the screw off through the bogie there, but through the rear truck there, but it's just so much easier to take this off. Although nothing's particularly easy one-handed, it's so much easier two-handed. There we go. We'll undo that. Dodgy old screwdriver this, slightly bent blade and a bit of solder on it as well from some earlier fiddling. But it's quite a nice shaped blade. It drops into the screw heads really nicely. So I really can't remember where it came from. So we'll just lift that out. And you can see those cylinder blocks there. That really is just fine strips of paper with Prit on them and stuck onto the cylinder blocks. There we go. You can see my messy wiring on the inside. Let's hold that up in a place we can see it. So I've got the capacitor there, and then the bridge rectifier sitting in front of it, and then the wiring's all traced back there. And instead of the sort of old-fashioned style bulb in there, I've got an LED. I'm not going to dismantle that part to show you. I'll put an insert picture in the corner of the screen there, and there's the original sort of orangey yellow plastic in there, which is quite faded. So that wasn't very orange. So I've put a little bit of extra orange coloured, although it doesn't look that orange. It's printed orange on the other side. It seems to make the colour much better. So if you look in there, So added orange effect, glowing fire. So let's pop this on the rails and we'll have a look at it with the top off. So it probably looks better with the top on actually, because the cab around the firebox. I'm going to rotate the camera again. So let's give that a little power. Yeah, I think it's more impressive with the cab on. See it glowing around the edges of the plastic there. But let's give that a little bit more power. I can't keep up with that. Let's see if I can tighten up the camera just a fraction on it. And we'll do one more away from camera and we'll see what we get. And back in again. That looks pretty good. So let me rotate the camera. Actually, no, let's not rotate the camera and let's lift that off and we'll get the top back on and we'll give it a go. There we go. She's all back together. Doesn't look too bad from a distance. Let's see if we can keep an eye on the interior of the cab there and see that firebox glow up a little bit. Looking pretty good. So cab definitely out of view now, so we'll just roll that around the corner. And we just need to stop before the points because I've forgotten to change them. So let's just have a look round here. What have we got? We're on 3 wires, definitely in need of changing. So if I hold that, I might be able to reach across and leave that in the right position. There we go. And then let's see if we can back out a little bit and see the Scotsman come through there. It's just the wrong angle. I can't quite hold that over far enough. A little glimpse of the firebox there. So excuse the wobbling while I turn around and look for the point switch. Now I think we've got to, because I've already partially dismantled this, we've got to do that by hand. And let's swap the direction. Sorry, I'm wandering all over the place here. So let's see if we can get those LNER coaches. There's that firebox into life. And there we have it. So we'll switch the direction and we'll roll out onto the inside line. See if we can get another glimpse of the firebox. Just in view there. Get another glimpse of the firebox as she comes around the bend here. So I think we'll leave her there and we'll have a quick look at the items that came in the box from Dave. So let's turn around, we'll see if we can do this without making a break. Let's see if we can widen the camera a little perhaps. So, a number of items I'm quite excited about in here. The mail coach, we can see there, I've been after one of those for ages, excuse me, just kneeling on the floor here. So it hasn't got all its line side stuff, unfortunately, but it's a fairly nice looking thing. I'm not going to whip these things out of the box. If you saw the insert picture earlier, you can see these were all beautifully wrapped when they arrived in the post. It's got quite a interesting sticker on the box there. Dave tells me he thinks that might be because it was a catalogue item, perhaps. I'm not quite sure of the meaning of that white sticker there. So let's see if we can have a look at the end of the box there. So R413 operating LMS mail coach. So it doesn't call it a set. So whether it came with the the line side stuff or not, I don't know. I do have some line side stuff which will go with this. So I'm really looking forward to running this. I've got a Duchess. I'm thinking with the LMS coaches that'll make quite a splendid rake of items on the railway. So we'll just pop that one down to one side. And we've got another one of these Tri-ang style LMS Southern coaches. Sorry, quite a deep green with Southern on the side. This one's got the silver seal wheels in quite a late box. And I've got a handful of these already. I just wanted to make up the rate. This is quite a late one. I think this is be from around 77 when they just stopped making this range of coaches based on the Mark 1s. This one's got the white roof. So what have we got? Our 933 SR coach composite. So we haven't had any Southern stuff on the railway for quite a while. Got another Southern coach here. This is the break end. So that's just making up a rake of coaches. I already I bought one of these by accident, and it was the wrong colour variation. There's a much later one. It was the right box but wrong colour. And it's an item I ordered off my phone, thinking, oh, that looks good. And the price was quite good, so I think we've seen that in the past. So there we got our 432 SR brake third. So they're quite a deep colour as well, and got black or very dark grey roofs. Again, I'm thinking sort of late 70s on that. It's got the silver seal wheels, so it'd be quite nice to get that out on the rails. Now, this is quite a pretty thing. We're not going to be able to run this for a while. So we've got the single-ended diesel here, TC series, R55. We've got a price scribbled on the box. Box isn't complete, it's missing its interior, but I already had one of these, but this is just in such beautiful condition. Mine's got a big scratch on the nose, as it were. So let's see if we can just ease that one, the lid off this one. And it does have some paperwork with it. And then old Tri-ang Railways instruction information manual. And we've got a date in there. So R55, it looks like it's 1959, doesn't it? So again, it's quite nice to have these little bits and pieces. Let's just pop that to one side. You can see the box is missing its corrugated card interior. But the model is really beautiful. I'm not going to try and manhandle that out, but mine's got quite a scratch across the front end of it, or a graze, should we say, rather than a scratch. So that was a really lovely item. And just pop that to one side safely. And I'm not going to manhandle this one out of the box, but that's the dummy end. It seemed daft not to buy the pair. So there's the R57. I'll put an insert picture in the corner of the screen there. So that's the non-powered end, and also in really nice condition. But no, I need two hands to successfully remove that from the box safely. And then this is quite a nice item. Again, this is an early System 6 track right-hand point. I don't know whether I can just encourage this one to drop out of the packet. It has got a piece of paper in there, which is quite nice. I do like these boxes with the Hornby Railways logo all the way around it. We saw a bridge in a box. It's just quite a large box, but absolutely stunning with the logo all the way around it. So here is the paperwork for the box, for the point. Let's have a look at the paperwork first. And it's got fitting instructions for the points remote control pack, and that's a R13 0702 75, I think, on there. Very smudgy print work by the look of it. So I think I've read that right, but quite a nice instruction leaflet there. Let's have a quick look at the other side. And then hand-operated points. So I think one of these would have gone out with all points at about that time. There's that lovely cable tidy idea on the back of the controllers, which we've got back there. So let's just pop that down. So this was that period. I'm not sure how long it went on for, where they had the transparent top to the the operating box on the side of the point there. I'm struggling for words there, but again, half sleeper ends, so fairly early on. There's a bit of damage on the end of that track, but just quite a nice item. As I say, sometimes it is just having nice little bits and pieces of the range. And this loco, I think, needs a little bit of work. It's not in the perfect conditions. It's definitely seen some use. There's a little bit of damage on it. It's a Ginty from a set in the early 70s. I'm not doing a very good job of unwrapping this at the moment, so I'll have a look over this. It runs. It's sort of a bit stoppy starty at the moment, and there's a little damage there with the securing screw, so it needs a bit of work. I think there's a bit of paper or something stuck in the side of it there. It's a silica gel type thing. So we'll get this one in running condition, and we'll see it on the railway. But yeah, it's a fairly nice item. I think this was just produced for a set. I'm trying to remember what year that was. I think it was only ever available in that set. So let's have a look. I'm struggling with one hand here. Let's see if we can look through there, see the motor through the back there. It's very glossy, isn't it? But as I say, she does run. She's a bit sort of stop and start at the moment, so I think it just needs a fairly good cleaning up and a check on the quartering. I think might be worth a look at on this one. I think might smooth it out a little. So let's put that to one side. And again, this is an unusual item. Well, not that unusual, but this just seemed to be in such a nice condition. It seemed daft not to have it. I've put a handful of Hornby 00 items from Dave over the years. Early on, quite a bunch of track and the odd bit of rolling stock here and there, but this is really quite a nice thing. I don't know whether I'm going to be able to get this out. If I can't, I'll leave a picture in the corner of the screen there. So they've got this lovely bogie bolster wagon. Now, I don't think this one wants to come out. There we go. So it is in quite lovely condition. So all metal wheels. And there's something else about this. It just it has a smell about it as well. Tri-ang models have a smell, and this die-cast model and the cardboard, it really has quite an aroma about it, all of its own. I think the metal toys and things had that feel about it. I remember getting dinky toys as a child. The smell of the metal, almost, you can smell the metal. It's quite a different thing to plastic. It's quite a lovely thing. Again, I think, as I said in a video a little while ago, I really can't account for the desire to get these things, but they are quite pretty. As you can see from that previous set of images there, I've been working on these sidings and swapping over the Y point, as I mentioned earlier in the video. I think in the last section I confidently said that I was hoping to get that swapped out in the next hour. Very optimistic. So I think that was on the 20th. We're now on the morning of the 23rd. So I was up quite late last night and finally got this in and running. And I decided to do something else, which I should have done when I first put these down, which is put an isolating section at the end of each of these, so I could run a train in and then pick up the coaches and take them away with another locomotive. So I've installed a couple of rubber fish plates in here just to make that happen, but I don't have any switches at the moment, so I've just left the wiring so it's a complete circuit still, and just have a quick look under here. So these are the two wires which are just making the circuit for now, so I'll get some switches at some point and we'll make that operational. The Y point, whilst it functions really nicely, but I'm on the wrong side of the railway at the moment to demonstrate that. It certainly does throw with the one switch really nicely, but it's got poor continuity on one of its branches, so that caused or took a little longer to get that wired in. So I put in a relay to overcome that. In the end, it didn't seem like it was going to be something I was going to be able to fix. If you just have a look at this, let's grab something to point with here. So whilst on one side I had good continuity from, let's see if I can tighten this up. And this is one of the dangers of working with old second-hand track, I suppose. You've got the little connection tab there, which made perfect contact with the blade, which was really nice. And then we've got the rivet through here, and then we've got the metal plate sitting into the plastic under there. So there's nice continuity through the rivet to the blade, so really nice from here to here to here. But there was no continuity whatsoever from this metal plate to this rail. If you look underneath, I don't know how close I can get that, you can see there's a tab of metal under there which joins to that metal plate, which that rivet sits through, and I believe that's just pushed onto in the plastic mould onto this rail. So it's either resting or has been stamped onto this rail. I don't know whether it's bonded, but whatever happens, even with pushing down and all sorts of fiddling, which you can usually get these running with, I could never get any continuity between that piece of metal there and that rail. It was just completely dead, which might account for the track being in such nice condition. It's been put in and you discovered not working and then just left alone. But anyway, I put in a relay and it works. So this one, let's see if we can see that. It's very crunchy, you can hear it. It's quite stiff. Let's have another go. Yeah, so it was always a challenge for a singular point motor. It's not a comfortable thing. It takes quite a lot of pressure to get it to finally throw. So continuity, beautiful on this one, down both sides, but poor in the throwing department. So I popped in a relay under there. I've got just the one motor on now and decided to keep it that side because I can see it partially over the elevated section when I'm looking for the other side. I should widen it up a little bit now, shouldn't I? So you can see I'm all in a mess over here as well because I've been working under the board, so I can see the number if I need to. It made sense to put it that side. So I think if I just get round to the other side, we'll see if we can have a little bit of a fly round with the Flying Scotsman before we go. So here we are on the other side of the railway. We'll just run it through that Y point. Slight glimpse of the glowing firebox there. Let me grab the point lever. So if we have a look at the Y point there. So that's quite a nice reassuring throw. Let's go the other way. And then we'll go back the other way. And let's back up the Scotsman back through the point work there. Yeah, so ideally I'll be able to hold the locomotive there and then take away the coaches. When I get a switch on both rails, I've done that. So just a bit of added extra fun. So let's throw that the other way. Just have reverse the direction, I can't remember. And away we go. So I think we should pick up the LNER coaches and perhaps have a little bit of a run round. So let's do that. If I hold that up, we might be able to get that firebox again. So I'll just follow that around. I don't really want to crash into the tender. So out of view, I was unsure where I'd left it there, so let's do that. So we'll just join that up and we'll have a swift look under the board here. Whilst we're at it, you can see it's all a bit of a mess in here. The debris from working on it. I hadn't anticipated taking that long. I don't know why I ever thought it would. I'd get at the job within the hour and get it done before I went to work, but it was never to be. So I've got the relay in there. So I've used the cabling from the other point motor, which was quite handy. And as I was putting it in, I thought I'd do both sides of the point, just for extra reliability while I was at it. So nice and solid now. But, excuse me while I jump back up again. So we'll get tidied up over the next few days, and then we'll see what we can do with another video. So I think if we put the Princess into the station, I've moved out the mixed rake of Western and BR blue coaches there. So let's see if we can get the Princess into the station. I do like the sound of this model. I think I said that before. So let's just seal her into the station. And 8R. There we go. So we've got her in there. We'll just isolate her as well. So just isolate that on the right the way down the platform, and then we'll open up the route through here, through this crossover here, and we'll go through out that way to the main line. So I need to change 1 and 4 and number 8, which I believe I've just closed by accident. Sorry, I'm moving far too quickly. So we'll go for 1 and 4 and number 8. That all sounds good. I'm just going to double check that I have done what I said I was going to do. Yeah, so 4 and yeah, so that should do it. I'm not too sure whether the second part of number 4 is thrown there. Sorry, I'm pointing the camera in no particular place. And I think we've got it there. No, we haven't. This one's not throwing. I wonder whether the cabling has come loose in all the fiddling. The first part of the crossover is thrown over here, but the second part is not. Let's give that another go. That sounded more reassuring. Let's have a quick look. There, we got it that time. So let's run the Scotsman through there and see if you can see that firebox as we go. hoping I haven't left too much debris on the tracks there. I did have a quick glance around. And then under the bridge, we'll get her onto the main line here, or the outside line. There we go, so we'll just close up points behind us now. So I think all I need to really take care of at the moment is number 8, so I might as well throw 1 and 4 whilst I'm at it. Save complications later. I'm just going to check number 4 through. So I must have knocked some wiring. Yeah, that's gone. That's thrown through quite nicely. Yeah, so we'll not worry about that anymore. Too many cables. So let's give that a bit of power. Let's tighten up on the camera, and we'll have a quick run round before we call it a day. I think the video's turned into many bits again, but it's been a busy week, and it's been good fun working with the wiring again. Splendid looking model. Just getting the firebox there. Can't quite keep up with her there. I think we'll do one more round, and then we'll say goodbye. Quite a shine on the bodywork, isn't there? But I think that's about it. But thanks again for watching. It's hugely appreciated. And if you look back again next time, we'll try and have something else interesting from the range to look at. Goodbye now.